Howdy.
Howdy.
I'm so delighted you're here. My name is Dr. Charlie Hall. I'm the holder of the Ellison Chair in International Floriculture here at Texas A&M. And this is the Ellison Chair in International Floriculture Distinguished Lecture Series. And we indeed have a distinguished lecturer here today. So welcome, thank you for attending. You're going to be stimulated beyond, in fact, I might put it this way. Every single thing that you have experienced in every single day of your life has led you to this moment. Right? So this is going to be stimulating intellectually as well as entertaining. So I'm delighted to introduce not only a colleague but a friend of mine, Lloyd Traven, Peachtree Farm, Kentnersville, Pennsylvania. And Lloyd has a story that's unparalleled. Now, we all have stories, right? We all have stories, no doubt. And they are very, some are bold and adventurous stories, others not so bold and not so adventurous, but still, they're stories. Lloyd's story would take the entire hour, so I'll condense it. Lloyd was born. That was a joke, come on. And then he went to Delaware Valley College of Science and Agriculture for his undergraduate degree. He finished that in 1979. Went to Cornell, got a MS in floriculture, graduated in 1981. He and his wife Candy, who is, he says, his better half, they bought the land that Peachtree Farm is on in 1983. In the interim between graduating and starting Peachtree Farm, Lloyd worked for Baldwin Horticultural Company. And he basically was part of the development of spark plug, if you recognize that term within the industry, as well as numerous other innovations. However, at the time, Baldwin Horticultural Company required you to wear a tie.
Still
okay. And so,
that's why I'm not here today.
And that's why Lloyd no longer works for Baldwin. Okay. So Lloyd, as you can tell, is a product of an era in floriculture that was unprecedented, right? And the floriculture industry has emerged through time, through its infancy, through its growth phases, through its maturity now, to be one of the most exciting sectors within agriculture and within the field of horticulture. And yet profit margins have deteriorated to the point where we have continuously a lot of shakeout in the industry. So it's very difficult for firms to compete. And they have to do so by looking at efficiencies and their effectiveness. Lloyd excels at both of these. He is known internationally for his automation, but he hires a crew of 12 within his operation. So he's automated even though he's a small business compared to some of the larger firms that we know in the industry. And yet he is an innovator in terms of biocontrols and growing organically / sustainably. All right, so he's recognized for his talents. Those are just a couple of the talents in which he is recognized. So I'm delighted to have Lloyd with us today because he is known also for his ability to cut to the chase and to say what other people are reluctant to say about what needs to be done in the industry. And so he's going to be talking about the future paradigm of the floriculture industry. But you see the innovative, well, in the handout, you saw the innovative title. Hello, my name is Irrelevant.
Irrelevance.
Irrelevance. Okay. Hello, my name is Irrelevance. Right? Not your typical title. This will not be your typical talk because, again, Lloyd tells it like it is. So I want you to join me in giving Lloyd Traven a rousing Aggie welcome.
Thank you, Charlie. This man is a tough act to follow, I got to tell you. This is really hard. I should let you know right off the bat, first of all, that I have been to Texas A&M before. I was talking with PJ about that, and it was right at the beginning of when the Ellison chair was actually being formed. And Jim and Ellen were instrumental, obviously, in that. And we actually had a board meeting down here of what was called the FIRST Foundation, Floriculture Industry Research and Scholarship Trust. I was a board member. PJ was on the board. Stan, I think you were on the board, or you were, I know we were talking to you a lot about it. You know, I should let you know, PJ, that from looking at the list of ex officio members and members of this board and things like that, I figured out finally that I am now the only first board member who's never been on the Ellison chair board. I don't know if that's significant or not, but I think it's probably true at this point. So just saying, and all of that. But I have one other real quick A&M story that I think most of you folks out here will appreciate. So I'm at the Cultivate Convention in Ohio, and I've been there, a speaker there for the last 22 years in a row now. And I meet this young gentleman. His name is Zach Tolbert. He lives in Austin, Texas. He has a company called localplantsource.com. And he has this young woman working for him. She is just lovely. She's attractive, she's funny. You know, she's just a delight to be around, very intelligent. And, you know, so I say to her, you know, I said, well, her name is Megan Peoples, okay? And I say, well, Megan, where did you go to school? And she gives me this like, ugh. Okay. I go, what the hell does that mean? You know, and she's like stunned. Zach is laughing so hard at this point because I have no clue what she's doing at this point. You know, and she's of course showing me the Aggie ring. I am supposed to understand this. And anyway, so that was, you know, whatever, Megan. And, you know, but anyway, so those are my A&M stories. But, you know, I am an owner. I actually, you know, as all male horticulturists do, I work for my wife in a business. But speaking of family and things like that, I just want to call out one person in here. Hayden, can you put your hand up there and maybe stand up there? Hayden is the proud father of 4-day-old Penelope, who is just one of the most adorable things I have ever seen. And congratulations to you. So, you know, go Aggies. Go Aggies. Okay, so what am I here to talk about? I'm here to talk to you about cool stuff. Okay, fun things, neat things that just make you go, wow, or how did you do that? Why did you do it? These are the kind of things. Dan, when I was talking to you earlier about losing my grafting knife, now you understand why I'm so upset. Okay, so, but this is the kind of stuff that we live to do. Okay, this is why we exist. But the title that I originally was going to call this, and there's enough people of a certain age in this room who will recognize this, 8675309, and it is a tune from 1982 from Tommy Two-Tone, one of the all-time great one-hit wonders, okay, because he never did anything else but this, 8675309, and it was a song about, oh, in this case, oh Charlie, oh Charlie. It was really oh Jesse, and the gist of this song was, don't ever change. Don't change. Oh, Jesse, you're perfect the way you are. And that is such an unrealistic view of anything that goes on in life, and in particular in business and in industry or anything like that. Okay, so when you don't ever change, it is inevitable that you become, and hello, my name is irrelevance. You cease to become relevant to either your customers, your vendors, your suppliers, the consumer. You just become a non-entity if you don't change and adapt and see the way the world is going. And I want to examine that a little bit because this is the crux of everything that relates to us right now. I'm talking about, first of all, the European versus the United States model of horticulture. Okay, and there's a lot of people in this room who have traveled all over the world. If you've ever been to Europe, in particular to Holland, you understand that in Holland, it is considered disgraceful to go to somebody's home and not bring them flowers or a plant or some kind of gift that is about that same kind of thing. You just do it. It is understood. But it's even more generic, or even more basic than that, is you consume these things yourself. You go to the store, you go to the market in town, you see flowers and you pick them up and you bring them home, and you understand that that is not forever. You're not marrying that plant. It's going to start to look like crap, as they do, and you're going to get rid of it, compost it, by the way, not just throw it away and recycle the pot, and you'll move on and get on with your life. But the key thing is, we're built an industry and a dialect of what we do in this industry that's based on 6 weeks a year. 6 weeks. Okay, 6 weeks, and that's it. I do not know any business model that thrives on 46 weeks of crap and 6 weeks of wonderment. It's not a good business model, okay? And it's really 5 weeks, okay? It's really getting shorter all the time. Or is it 4 weeks, okay? Because that's the reality that we all face right now. It's getting compressed more and more and more and more. You hear from greenhouse or garden center owners, if it has no bloom, it gets no room. Okay, it has no bloom, it gets no room. What does that mean? If it's not gaudy, if it doesn't have some hideously large, fragile flower on it, I'm not going to put it in my garden center. And that's just crazy. It's just crazy. So it's not a part of daily life in the United States. It is absolutely not. What do we think about flowers? Well, guys, it's Valentine's Day. I gotta buy some roses. Oh my God, they're $90 a dozen? You know, I'm not doing that. And it's like, oh, it's Mother's Day. I gotta buy Mom a fuchsia. That fuchsia's gonna look good for about 7 hours before you forget to water. It's gonna be dead. And it's like, oh, I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my money. You know what? I'm not doing it. Right? That's the attitude. I mean, it's industry-wide. It's not a part of daily life because we place too much financial obligation on it. We have trained our customers that if you have a plant that dies, you're a bad person. You're bad. And you're not. You're okay. Okay, when you think about baseball, okay, the Astros, I'm a big Astros fan. I think they're a really solid team. If you're an Astro and you hit 300, your batting average is 300, you get 3 times out of 10 you get a hit. You are paid $20 million a year. 3 out of 10 successful, 20 million bucks. In our industry, it's 100% or nothing. You know, your customer hates you because you sold them junk. I have a black thumb, right? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Every other industrialized nation on this planet purchases and uses flowers and plants by orders of magnitude larger than the United States does. It is a simple fact of life. Anything that I'm telling you today, I am not making this up. These are statistics. I am data driven. I've had this conversation with Charlie. My motto is, in God we trust, everybody else show me some numbers. Okay, I really believe that. Okay, and by orders of magnitude, because we have a luxury, unnecessary perception of the products that we all love so much. And we intimidate people with this stuff. Oh, well, what do you have that works well in full sun and in a moist condition? Oh, Metasequoia glyptostroboides. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get me out of here. I don't want to have any part of this guy. He's talking a foreign language. It's like weird. I don't understand it. And they walk away and they find something else that they can understand. Reese's cups, that they understand, okay? But Metasequoia scares people, and we do it all the time. In addition, we make it inaccessible to them. Okay, you have to go inside the garden center. You have to go through the door. You have to do this. You have to do that just to get to the stuff you want to buy. Perfect example, and I'm not trying to step on proven winners here or anything like that. This just happens to be a display that proven winners put together at the California Spring Trials. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. A little bit weird because of the cover on the greenhouse. How do you shop that? How do you buy a hydrangea? You can't get to it, okay? It looks cool, but it ain't working well. And this is what we do. So we're not making this stuff easy for people. We make it hard for people to buy our products. And that's called irrelevant, because people are not going to put up with it. And they're speaking with their pocketbooks, clearly. Okay, Ian Baldwin, who is one of the great garden center consultants, just had a blog post this past week, may have been 2 weeks ago, where he said this is the first time after a deep recession or a depression that the garden center industry has not rebounded stronger than the economy in general. First time. We have always considered this industry to be recession proof. We come out stronger than anybody. Not true anymore. I'm going to show you some of the reasons for that a little bit later, okay? Because we're not meeting their needs. We're not meeting their needs. And we have to examine, and that's really what I'm trying to talk about today. We have to meet their needs. And how do we find them out? How do we figure it out? How do we meet them? How do we engage them with those needs? So one of the things that is sort of one of the things I'm known for is talking about bringing awesome every day. Man, you know, you don't get that many chances to get somebody roused up. You better be awesome every single day. Every day, okay? And by that I mean, you know, just putting stuff together that they look at and they say, I haven't seen that. What's that plant? Where did you find that? How did you get that? Where can I get it? Okay, and so we're looking for things like that. There was a gentleman here, you sir, I was told that you do a lot of tropical stuff and unusual flowering things. I said, oh, he'll recognize some of the plants that I put up here. This is something that we worked with for the Cornell plantations. Okay, so these are all potted plants and you can take them and move them around and rearrange them and they look really cool. Okay, so what do you not see in that picture? Flowers, exactly. There's not a lot of flowers in there. Are you missing anything? No, doesn't need it, okay? So I always say, you know, when we're having our meetings, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna introduce? How are we gonna make this happen? And it's what's gonna blow their mind. What's gonna make them go, gotta have it, okay? Gotta have it, right? So this is the kind of thing that gets my attention. This is in Old City Jaffa in Israel. And we come around a corner, and that's my wife Candy standing there. And here is hanging in this gigantic clay pot an orange tree in space, just hanging in space. And she's just stunned, flabbergasted, amazed by this thing. I'm going over to it, I'm trying to figure out how they hang it. Okay, I said, how do they build that? How do they hang it? What's holding it up? Why doesn't it break? Why doesn't the cable come through the side of the pot? You know, I'm an engineer by trade at that kind of thing. But that killed me, man. It literally gasp worthy, you know, when you come around the corner. Okay, I'm going to apologize in advance to all of you because I will say something at some point that was going to offend somebody in the room. I will push some button. I don't know, Charlie, I mean, you know this, right? I don't have a lot of verbal filters. And if I think it, I usually say it before I think maybe not, you know? But I'm sorry. So, Jim, I'm sorry. Stan, sorry. Terry, I'm sorry. Sorry. Sorry, Charlie. You're the one who asked me. Okay, Dan, you know, I'm really, really, really sorry. All right, I'm not really sorry. I don't mean that, you know. I'm trying to get you to think about things here. I'm trying to get you to look inside and look externally and come up with ideas. So the attitude that I have is that we're boring our customers and ourselves to death. Because you go into a place and you say, I've seen all this crap before. I've seen it. There's nothing new. There's nothing exciting here. Okay, when you go to California and you see 300 new petunia varieties it's hard to get really excited. Or you go over to some place and they say, I want to show you our large flowered violas. I call that a pansy, by the way, you know, and I don't know where they come up with this stuff, and it's like, no, it's like, please do not show this to me. Please. No, I'm not looking for this. So this is a picture I took. This is in Bolivia, La Paz, Bolivia. And this is apparently soft drink street in this, because each one of those posts is a divider from store to store to store. Those are 3 separate businesses there, right? What's the difference between those 3 businesses? Who yells louder to you? The person. Well, the person is different, yes. And actually, that's a really good observation, because that person is critical to the success of that business when you really get down to it. And that's, you know, thank you for making that point, by the way, because it's not about the product all the time, it's about the personality. It's about the attachment that they make to you. Okay, but why would anybody buy from you? So our business motto is plants you'd buy for yourself, because we're a wholesale company. And what we're saying to the buyer for any company, whether it's ball seed, whether it's a retailer, whether it's a botanical garden, if that plant that you're purchasing is not good enough to go in your home, why would you put it in your store? Are you better than your customers? You're not. Okay, so that attitude is very, very important to us. And that's what we say. When we're unhappy with plants that somebody has pulled to go out the door, we pull that person aside and say, would you buy this for yourself? And if they even have to think about it, then they have to put it back and get something else. Okay? That's the way we work our business. And we're always looking for that wonderful cool factor. But we have evolved in our thinking on this to look for emotional and physical hooks to get people to pull the trigger and take out their wallet. And we must show them value, not monetary value. There's so many other things that are valuable, and it must be valuable to them. It does not matter how valuable it is to me. Okay, I'm not the one buying it. You are. So you have to get out of your head and get into their head totally, because it is a battle for garden domination out there. It is a battle. And we have to start to work together. Retailers need to work with growers, need to work with breeders, need to work with the marketing companies, the logistics companies. We've all got to start working together to make this happen, because we only had to fight each other before, but there's been a big change in the world, you know, with the different marketplaces, different methods of buying. You know, it used to be, it just had this guy versus that guy, and that's all that's fighting whoever's fighting, you know, that's like dog eat dog, you know, you got the guy down the road, you got the same guy across town, whatever it is, it's dirty, it's nasty, it's business. Okay, it's the American way, and they keep coming back. You know, these guys, you think they went out of business, now they showed up again, they're undercutting you, all this stuff. It's terrible. It's brutal, okay? It's brutal. And this stuff is really important to me, all right? You know, because I know what side I'm on, all right? I'm the gnome guy. I like the gnomes, not a big flamingo guy. Okay, but now it's different. It used to be this greenhouse versus that greenhouse, small companies all in the same town, friends probably. Now it's Godzilla and Megalodon going against us, you know? So you got the big guys, you got Home Depot, all right? You got Walmart, you got Lowe's, right? And they're gobbling up the garden centers. They're just eating them alive right now. And now you bring Amazon into the mix. Now we got Amazon. And what do we do about Amazon? Do we join them? Do we fight them? Do we ignore them? Well, don't ignore them. 60% of all online transactions or searches for a transaction, for a buying decision, start with Amazon. Not making that up. 60%. You do not work with Amazon or acknowledge their existence, over half your audience never knows you exist. Okay? Boy, that's important stuff. They will figure out how to deliver plants. They will figure it out. And you better be ready for that marketplace. So I'm starting to meditate on this. I'm starting to think about this. You know, it's sort of like, namaste off my lawn, will you please? You know? All right, this is as much advertising as I'm going to do for my company here. We're Peachtree Farm and peachtreefarm.com. That's it. We're trying to build and link 6 different domains right now. Okay, we've got all these things. Anything that we do that you start to look for, I want to be the guy who comes up on that front page on Google. I'm trying to figure out how to make that happen. It's sort of the whack-a-mole theory. You know, okay, you want lavender, you contact Peachtree Farm. That's what we want to be, the king of all lavender. Okay, you want to have organic herbs, you look up Peachtree Organics, or anything that comes up organic, we want our name to show up. Peachtree Decor, the Garden Geek Collection, all the things that we brand, we want you to find us first, okay? And get to you. I wanted to give a quick shout out to my wife, Candy. She hates it when I put this picture up there. This happens to be the world's largest quartz sphere. Why, I don't know, but that's what it is. But we do a lot of traveling together. We search all over the world. We're looking for cool stuff. That's what we do. If one of our employees goes somewhere, you better come home with a plant for me. Okay, well, I want something, and don't bring me something I know already, please, because I've done that already. Okay, and we go and we look and we look and we look for all this stuff. And we just celebrated our 40th anniversary a couple of weeks ago. 40 years. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, like, oh my God, right? We live together. We work together. We live where we work. You know, oh my God. Crazy, okay? And we're children of the 60s. We had some decisions we had to make. They were not necessarily the best decisions all the time. When I was 15 years old, I convinced my mom and dad that going to Woodstock was an absolutely great idea. And I always tell people I never had a 70s, I had 2 60s. So, you've known me for a long time, PJ. You know all this is true, okay? But it worked out okay. Okay, because we stayed the course, as they say. And in 2005, our little tiny company was picked as National Grower of the Year. And I said, are you confusing me with somebody named Peachtree? Are you confusing us with somebody who cares about what they do or actually knows what they're doing? The message was, you can be a small company with good marketing, good technology, savvy products, and make it work in a very, very tough world of growing. And I said, that's a pretty good message. Okay, that's a good message. I like that. I will gladly accept this. And okay, so that's us right there, looking much younger. Okay, remember the question that you all are told to ask. What is the question that you are told to ask every year? Somebody. Well, that's a great question, Jim. Will it work? And I never thought about that one. So what we're told as an industry, and Mike, I'm surprised you're not blurting this one out here, is what's new. Okay, we are an industry that seems to think what's new is the only thing that matters, the shiny new object, the latest, greatest. The reality is we don't need another red petunia. We have plenty. We don't need another one. And it better be a quantum change in red petunias or it does not deserve to be brought out to the market. How many hydrangea paniculatas do we need? How many? I mean, there are hundreds of varieties. And it better be a color you've never seen before. Or rebloom, or something about it that really makes that thing worth it. Okay, I look at it a little bit differently. I say, what's different? Because to a consumer, everything is new. Okay, you bring an heirloom plant, something that your grandmother grew. You go and you see those old-fashioned Nicotianas that got 4 feet tall, the fragrant flowers and stuff like that, and to a consumer, oh my God, I've never seen that. That's amazing. It smells so good. They just go nuts when you show it to them. because they've never seen it. It's brand new. Could be 100 years old, 150 years old, but to them, it's exotic and wonderful and premium and desirable. Why? Because Jim Ellison saw it and said, my grandma had that plant. That's a home run. It doesn't get any better as a marketer than that. And by God, if you go home without buying a flat of that, I need to find another job, right? I'm not doing my job. If I can't capitalize on that emotional hook, I'm not meeting my customer where they're living. Okay, and that's really what I'm talking about today. My mantra has always been, for years I have given this talk, differentiate or die. You better stand out from a crowd or you are just going to be disappearing, okay? I have determined that that is not a good mantra. It doesn't make sense anymore because you already should have done that years ago. You should have figured out, how can I make myself stand out from a crowd? And I'm talking about relevance, okay? Relevance. How does it make me feel? This is not product oriented at all. This is here and here, okay? How does it make me feel? And even more important with today's generations, what does it do for me? What does it do for me? And if you can't answer those two questions, it doesn't mean a whole lot.
You don't have marijuana.
We're allowed to in Pennsylvania now, so we're one of the more progressive states. But I will talk about that a little bit later, actually.
How it makes me feel.
Well, how does it make me feel? That's just one of many things you can feel, though. So, okay. So how does it make me feel? What does it do for me? All right. And what we're really talking about here, and this is the paradigm shift, is we're talking about benefits and emotion. Emotion. That is something that we threw out as an industry a long, long time ago in terms of we wanted to have production, we wanted to have uniformity, we wanted to have easy for the grower, all of this stuff. It has nothing to do with why you buy a plant. It has nothing to do with it. You couldn't care less about whether it needs growth regulator, whether it likes an acid soil or stuff like that. You might, because maybe you're a horticulture major, I don't know. But for the general public, for the consumer, they couldn't care less. They just like it. And they come into your store or your greenhouse or your nursery already liking what you do. You don't have to convince them to like what you do. They already do. So benefits and emotion. We're trying to find the sweet spot where benefits and emotions meet. And that's where you really start to hum. That's where you really start to get people excited and interested. And they're not even thinking about cost. It's the last thing they talk about. All of you folks who are undergraduates right now, you'll hear Dr. Hall start to talk about elastic and inelastic demand. I've heard that talk for 25 years now. I don't have a clue what he's talking about. I don't know what it means. He'll explain it to you in excruciating detail. And it's all true, mind you. It's all 100% true. But it's like, I'm talking about what grabs you by the gut. Okay, what makes you excited? And I'm going to show you examples of that, okay? And it has to have value, right? So what changed? What changed in our mindset here? Everything. Everything has changed in the last 10 or 15 years. And I'm going to give you examples right now. Demographics. Okay, the millennial generation is going to be by far the largest generation ever on this planet. They are going to swamp the baby boomers, which is the previous largest, if I'm not mistaken, probably by 30, 40%, I'm guessing. I don't know what that number is. It's going to be much, much, much larger. Okay, there's just no two ways about that. That's a big change. There are so many more young people coming up or aging or coming of age right now, and we better start addressing what they're looking at and what they're looking for and how they extract information and how they buy things. And we're not paying a lot of attention to it right now, okay? Urbanization. This may be the single biggest paradigm shift in the world right now. I want to say that by 2050, over 60% of the world's population is going to live in a city of 1 million or more people. Okay, 1 million or more people, 60% of the world's population. And you think about it, there's only 11 cities in the United States that are over 1 million people right now. There's a lot where the metro area is that big and all that. But you look at China, and they've got over 100 cities of over 1 million people already. And what you're seeing is people are moving back from the rural and from the suburban areas into much more clustered areas, whether it's a condo, whether it's a central retail core where you can walk around, where you can have, it's like a herd mentality. I want to have Wi-Fi everywhere I am. I want to be able to meet with people. I want to be able to sit down. I want all of this stuff with my friends. And it's a quantum change from what we've been used to, what my generation was looking for. We were looking to get out of any kind of urban or even suburban setting and go rural. Okay, that's totally changed. Okay, I'm not making that up. It has absolutely totally changed. What does that mean to us? That means that the face of gardening is completely different now. You know, you will not see the broad swaths of bedding plants. You know, 100-foot bed of wave petunia or the late lamented impatiens or things like that. You are simply not going to see that. People are not going to have a large front yard that they are going to pour a fair amount of money into and plant bedding plant after bedding plant and after bedding plant. There will always be those people. They are the ones who are looked at like weirdos by their neighbors. But the reality is your garden is going to be 2 containers on a balcony this size as of this table with 2 big containers, one of which better be edible. Okay, that's gardening now. Get used to it because you're out of business if you don't understand that. You're gone, you're done. I hate to tell you this because it's like, well, what do we do about that? Because the numbers are simply not going to be there anymore. We're not going to be able to support the amount of production that we do right now based on that kind of gardening public, unless we get people to start buying all year round on a regular basis as part of everyday life. Okay? In a nutshell, that's what I'm talking about today, okay? Get used to it, because that's what it is. Nobody's got time. It used to be, and Mike, I know you know my history with the ball company and all that, like with me as a vendor to you. People would contact Ball, they would try to place an order, they would contact us, and we would say, well, we'll get back to you. And eventually we would figure it out. Hey, do we ever give them an answer on that? Well, that's death. Okay, they want an answer. They want an electronic answer. As soon as they send us the message to our computer system, they want an answer. And if you don't give them that answer immediately, even if the answer is no, they will cut you off and they'll go somewhere else and buy from somebody else. So nobody's got time to mess around. People have 2 jobs, they got kids, they got soccer practice, all that crap that we have to do. And we have unlimited choices. Okay, you don't need to buy from me. You can buy from that guy. You can buy from him. You can buy from her. Any place you want to go. You can do whatever you want. You've got so many choices right now. Communication. I built my business on calling my customers and talking to them. I still have many customers who will not buy from me unless I call them to ask for a sale. Those are the old guys. Okay, they're the ones who are disappearing along with me. Okay, it's not done that way. And it frustrates me when I say to the marketing people in the office, hey, did you talk to the Rhodes Garden today? Because I haven't heard back from them about an order. Oh, I emailed them. Ugh. They're not going to respond to an email, or there's a new buyer and they only work with email. They do not want to talk to you ever again. Okay? You got to figure this stuff out, right? And then what if they actually find you, right? You have literally 10 seconds to make that impression on them. That's it. That's all you get anymore. In retail, and I love retail speak, you enter a garden center through the decompression zone. That's a door, okay? The decompression zone. And the store Vista opens in front of you. Okay, I'm looking around. That's what that means. And you walk in, and you will start over on this side, because that's the way we read. They've done studies on this. And you start over here and say, oh, I've seen that. Got that at home already. Oh, again? Nope. All right, I've seen the store. Maybe I'll buy something. I'm here. It's convenient. I'm already here. Whatever. But I don't ever have to come back to this store again because it looks just like Home Depot. Same stuff, same variety, same combos, same everything. You've just wasted all your marketing effort. You spent all that time to get that person in your store. 10 seconds later, they're bored with you already. Don't have to come back. Maybe they will if they're in the neighborhood, maybe not. You need to have a wow spot. You need to have something that makes them stop in their tracks and say, wow, okay? And you need to have multiple wow spots in your store or in your personal garden or in your house, whatever. I don't care where you are, make some wow spots, okay? Make people say, that's cool. How do you do that? Okay, that's a wow spot in a private garden. Wow, look at that. That's really cool. That's a wow spot. Okay, this is a farmer's market in Michigan. In nowhere, Michigan. Okay, wow, thank you, Charlie. Isn't that something? You know, and these people sell vegetables. They're not a lavender farm. You know, they sell bedding plants. That's pretty damn cool. All right, that's a wow spot. That's a wow spot. This is something that we made for a trade show one time. And can you imagine that out in front of a garden center? You don't think that would attract attention? It's just lettuce. That's all it is. You go to your garden center, you buy a flat of red lettuce, a flat of green lettuce, you lay out a swirl in a big horse trough, you plant it up. 2 days later, it looks like $1 million. It gets too big, you cut it off and eat it, right? You know, it's like double the value. And when it looks like crap, you'd plant it again. That's a wow spot, okay? That makes people say, ooh, these people got it going on. They're different, you know, they're really different. So it's wow. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a garden center on Whidbey Island, Washington. Okay, and that's laburnum. Okay, a laburnum arbor. And people drive to this garden center from hundreds of miles away. And she has a website about the arch. And she posts it. And people come to her garden center on Whidbey Island. The world's largest hanging basket in Portland. Honest to God, the world's largest, it's in the book, all right? 16.5 feet across. And those are full-size trees and shrubs in there. Wow, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Okay? I mean, that's awesome. And this guy, very clever marketer, changes throughout the year, and he has designed his regular hanging basket, duplicates that hanging basket style, and he sells note cards and earrings, little tiny hanging basket earrings, and all this other stuff. He has built a business around this. Yes, it's in Portland, Oregon. Yeah, it's called the Garden Corner, John Carsaboom. And it is a tiny garden center. It's less than 2 acres, the whole place. No buildings whatsoever. And it's open air, and he gave up that kind of space for a wow spot, okay? Put him on the map, literally. This is a garden center in Buffalo, New York. Buffalo is a pit, by the way, it really is, but it has wonderful garden centers and gardens, beautiful gardens. And this is a small garden center. There are 10 garden centers on the same road, literally one after another. This is the smallest of them all, and he gave up parking spaces for this. Why? because it gets attention, and people come in because they say, this guy knows what he's doing. Okay, he knows what he's doing. And you have to do this every single day. So here's a couple personal wow spots. That was a piece of furniture that was being thrown away. It was actually scavenged off the side of the road. And so it's like when people say, hey, you know, you could buy furniture or you can buy plants. Well, why don't you make some furniture out of plants, right? I think this probably belongs at the Liberace Museum or something like that. It's a little intense for my taste, but man, it sure gets you thinking about it, right? Anybody who's been to Ohio knows Earl Robinson from Meadowview Growers. That bus drives. It has an irrigation system built into it. You hook it up to a hose, little rainbirds pop out of it, and it waters the bus. And he drives it around in parades and stuff like that. Awesome. Awesome stuff. This is great. Okay, it's an old wringer washer that was pulled out of a junkyard. Pretty cool. Okay, that's considered junk. An old stove planted with succulents. I think this is fun stuff, you know? Get people going. So it's about engagement. Okay, how do we engage these people? So there's a communications breakdown. Anybody who heard me in Dr. Hall's class yesterday, you can't answer this question. What's the #1 method of communication in the world today?
Text.
Text, absolutely. Bingo, #1 with a bullet. Okay, is so convenient, so easy. I hated it, now I love it. Okay, because I will literally text people to say, can I call you? Okay? I'm dead serious, PJ. I am dead serious about that. Okay, it's the best way that I get people to answer the phone because they can see who's calling them. And they say, oh, that's a half an hour of my life gone, you know, if they answer a phone call from me, right? Okay, #2, social media. I mean, there's a million, you know, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got Snapchat, all this stuff. You got all these different ways. Twitter, oh my God, they should just shut down Twitter. You know, and all this stuff. I mean, this is how we communicate, right? It's, you know, I'm in Charlie's class yesterday, and what's the first thing I do? I take a picture of him, and I post it on Facebook, right? Had 56 likes before the class was over, right? The great Charlie Hall packs a room with 300 people. Only he can do that on a class on you know, I forget what I said. And I said, and most of them are not horties. And spell check corrected it to hotties. Okay, is that great? Right? I caught it before I hit send, right? You know, right? Perfect. I thought they're going to be so offended by that, you know, right? Hotties, awesome stuff. All right. Email. How many emails do you get in a day? How many? A bunch. That's right. So I have on my phone, I've got 1,187 unread emails. 1,187, that's just my phone. That's not the computer. Okay, it's relentless, you know, and you just like scroll, but it's a record, you know, you never lose an email. And the last one is a phone. And phones are by many people considered to be an invasion of privacy. Okay, they will not answer their phone. And that's why I text people to say, can I talk to you for a minute? Okay, because I don't want to intrude on them. So it's don't talk to me, don't talk to me. Is it age dependent? Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. I'm 63 years old and I live on my phone. Any person who's involved in retail who puts a sign up in their store, we will not serve you while you're on your phone, is an idiot. Just stupid, because that's how people communicate. They don't talk to each other. You ever been in a restaurant and everybody's on their phone, and then they all start laughing at the same time? They're texting each other at the table, okay? I get it, all right? I get it, I understand it, right? Function in all of this trumps beauty is what we're really saying. It's all about the functionality of it. Function is more important than the beauty. It is not about that flower anymore. It's about what the plant does, how it makes me feel. Okay, never forget that. I'm going to give you a perfect example of beauty and function. So here's beauty. This is in Amsterdam, on the street. And so you have these 4-foot wide concrete planters. Man, they spent a lot of money on this thing. Put a lot of flowers in it. And it was September, so they're starting to look a little peaked and all that. But I'm looking at it, what is it? Why did they do this? What's the purpose of this thing? And I start to walk around it, and now I get the function of it. Okay? It's screening a urinal on the street in Amsterdam. Beauty, function. Okay, get it? So that beauty and the function go together. Okay, I want to show you the American way. That's the American way. All right? We so totally do not get this, all right? All right? America in a nutshell right there, right? Right? Yeah, we can do better, guys. We can all do better. Okay, so that mantra, what does it do for me? How does it make me feel? Right? There are 5 major components that plants do for us. 5 major components. And I broke it down into these headings. Bodily functions, okay? Can I eat it? Reason number 1, okay? Man, if you're not looking at edibles and increasing your edible emphasis in whatever part of horticulture you're in, you are totally missing the boat. You're just missing the boat. If you can eat it, it's a home run by definition. Okay, can I drink it, ferment it? Can I make alcohol out of it? Can I make a tea? Can I smoke it? Is it medicinal, psychoactive? These are, I'm not passing judgment on any of this, whether it's good, bad, or whatever. I'm just saying these are things that some of you, many of you, consider to be important. It doesn't matter if I consider it important or you consider it important. Somebody does, okay? Okay, aromatics, essential oils. We talked about essential oils yesterday. Cosmetics. Hey, you want to talk about emotion? Will I get lucky tonight? Right? Will I get lucky tonight? That's a pretty strong pull, in my opinion. Mental functions. Relaxation. You get that lavender oil going and people mellow out kind of immediately. It can be therapeutic, literally cure illnesses. And it certainly is emotional. All right, the yellow rose of Texas. Roses are for remembrance. All of these things that tug at us, when you give your girlfriend flowers, when you get flowers, these are emotional things. Whatever that flower is that you had at your wedding, that's important to you. And every time you see that flower, you remember that day. Hopefully in a good way. Hopefully in a good way. Okay, social functions. Charlie's class is literally about this. You build communities with community gardens and things like that. Community pride, AIB. I mean, it doesn't get any more obvious than that. Socialization. People get together in a garden. They are happier. They're not angry. They're more serene. It's all good stuff. There's nothing bad about this. You can save energy. Okay, Philadelphia is a great example. Better property values, and it has been shown to lower crime. Okay, that's dead on statistics. They're not making this stuff up. Environmental, man, is this a big deal? Of course it is. So you have all of these things here. Water retention, a big deal in California right now. Obviously, birds and wildlife, pollinators. There are over 300,000 registered monarch habitats in the United States now in a year and a half of the monarch program being in existence. That is people buying into a campaign really strongly. Why? Because it has value here to them, they understand it, and it makes them feel good in here. And it helps everybody. What's the downside to that? Horticultural. Notice it's last on the list. Is it collectible? Good color, insect repellent, whatever that stuff that we think as horticulturists is important is the stuff that you grow a plant for. That they're valid. What did we not mention? Anybody? Nice. We didn't mention money. I'm thinking more. We did not mention beauty or appearance, and I want you to sort of drill down a little bit more on that, Dan. I can make it simple for you.
Ornamental, aesthetics.
We didn't talk about flowers.
Flowers.
We never said a word about flowers. And as an industry, we laser focus on flowers. That's all that matters. Petunias, calibrachoa, verbenas, scaevola, marigold, blah, 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 blah. You just go on and on and on and on and on. And it is all about that flower. You know, I can't tell you how frustrated I get with garden center people who just, you know, oh, it doesn't, that's not gonna, you know, that magnificent salvia that you're selling that's gonna be 4 feet tall and 4 feet wide in the 1st of September, I can't sell that in May. No, you can sell it in May, but you can't sell it in flower in May because it'll be dead by July. You know, that's not how it works. So I don't know where we came up with this concept that if it is not in bloom in May, it has no value. It just doesn't make any sense, okay? This is the great disconnect. We provide, as an industry, for consumers precisely what they do not want. We have taken emotion, we have taken participation out of the mix for them. We tell them, we're making the combination for you because horticulturally we know a hell of a lot more than you do, and you don't want to do it yourself because we've decided that, and we're gonna do it. And they're saying, especially young folks are saying, no, 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 you don't understand. I wanna do it. I wanna do it. I want to participate. I want to be part of it. I might fail. I don't know. But I want to do it myself. I don't want you telling me how to do it. And we see that box of plants that they bring up to the counter at a garden center, and we say, oh, PJ, that's not going to work together for you at all. You know, this one's dry, this one's wet, this is shade, this is sun. And you're saying, it's working for me, and you're the only one who matters. You're the only one who counts. Nobody else matters except the consumer, right? So where benefits meet their desires is where we want to be. We have to eliminate their fear of failure because everybody gets a ribbon and everybody gets a high five in T-ball now, right? And it's like, you're great, PJ, because you participated in T-ball. And the reality is, you're not a very good ball player. Okay, and you're not going to make the team at the next level, and you're not going to the pros. I'm sorry to tell you that, but you get a ribbon and you get a trophy because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. That's not life. That is not how it works. And we expect that gratification. Plants don't work that way. You have to do something and interact with a plant to get somewhere with that plant, okay? People do not enjoy planting tomatoes. They enjoy eating tomatoes, okay? It's not the planting part that gets everybody jazzed up. It's serving them on a sandwich, right? And we took that experience away. We took it away by telling them we know better than you do. Okay, so I think I'm gonna end at that point, Charlie, because I gave myself about 4 or 5 dropout points here, you know, because I know how I tend to go on a little bit. I just want you to think about this. You know, I gave you possible functions that you can point to. I gave you ways to engage. I gave you reasons to engage, and the way that you think about it and get people to hook, the way you hook the people, okay? You get them nibbling on the line and you set it, okay? And you do that by appealing to them here and here and here. And the desired reaction is here, okay? That's what we're trying to do. We have to provide value and benefits and emotional attachment to get them to say, you have value to me. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.